And so what we're going to do is we're just going to get right into it. We're just going to start right at the top with Kenny Pickett as a quarterback, like we always do. And we are going to talk about his stat line, which reads as such: 15 of 28 for 106 yards, a 3.8 yard average. He didn't throw a touchdown. He didn't throw an interception, was sacked 3 times, and had a quarterback rating of 62.5. All right, gentlemen, no grades this week, but what did you think about Kenny Pickett? Dave, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, the whole idea that someone else can't be worse. Well, you take that 0 interceptions and you change that to 2 or 3, and guess what? You're getting blown out in this game. So it's not that it can't be worse. It can, but I understand your point that it might not necessarily be. So I understand the point there, but just remember that that's what the Steelers do. They don't want to turn the ball over. But at the same time, if the Steelers would have come out on that last drive and with Najee Harris and ran for -2 yards on the first play and ran for -1 on the next and then ran it again, then everyone said they don't trust Kenny and wouldn't pass. So either way, we wouldn't have been very happy. So at least they went and they were trying to attack at the end. They just not very well. Kenny was off. Deontay Johnson, was it that drive or the one before where Deontay Johnson, he had him, he just threw it too high. He just never seemed like he had it all together throughout the game. It was not a good performance. It was just some weird overall philosophy of what they were trying to do in this game. They were so convinced it was going to be a low-scoring game coming into it. It's almost like they decided they weren't going to try to score points, which is just mind-boggling.
Brian, what are your thoughts on Kenny Pickett?
Again this week, the worst game of his career. And now he seems to keep having those. And it's hard. There's no excuse. Terrible game, which if this is the first time you're watching Kenny Pickett play, you're definitely saying, why is this guy in there? But I still go back to seeing this was a much better version of Kenny Pickett last year. Kenny Pickett is now in his head completely. He does not trust himself. The Steelers don't trust him. But, man, you've got to go down the middle. And they're not doing it again. You get Pat Freiermuth back. Why? Why do you need Pat Freiermuth?
Yeah.
I mean, this was just inexplicable. I cannot. It's inexcusable. He's trying not to make mistakes, but sometimes you got to throw it. And if you make a mistake, that's fine. But when you get the ball where you are, a couple times in that fourth quarter, they could have very well, they should have won that game. They actually, if you probably looked at any of the DraftKings or sports books or anything that lets you make a bet, then they're favored at that point in the fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett, fourth quarter Kenny is a myth now. It does not exist. That was a thing that we thought we had. It isn't. This is just really bad. Is he getting help from his offensive coordinator? Absolutely not. But at least a marginal quarterback right now is going to make some plays in that situation. My gosh, we're giving platitudes to a guy that was absolutely terrible throwing the ball most of that game. And he's getting platitudes because they won the game because he got a couple routine passes off because he was able to. This is just bad all the way around. This is worse than 1980s bad. I long for Mark Malone right now.
Like Mark Malone that's always in the live chat? That guy?
No, that guy's a fraud.
No, we definitely don't long for him.
Yeah, I think that I do follow the NFL closely for a lot of reasons, and you see a team like the Buffalo Bills fire their offensive coordinator, and I'm not suggesting that the Steelers should or that they will, but man, you are 6-4. And you're putting a lot of stock into what's going on right now. And I just feel like the Steelers, I know they wouldn't make a move like firing their coordinator or benching their quarterback, but how long are they just going to keep throwing out the same old thing and thinking it's going to work? When was the last time we saw Kenny Pickett? I think, Dave, you said, he's been off, or maybe it was Brian. When was the last time we saw him on? Like, I
That's
mean,
a
for a
good
sustained amount of
question.
time. Like, when was the
That's a
last time?
good
Was it,
question.
to me, you got to go back to the preseason. That was the last time we saw Kenny Pickett look like a confident, capable quarterback. He hasn't looked good at the good. San Francisco week 1, no. Week 2, Cleveland, no. I mean, we could run through the gambit. The dude is broken mentally, it seems like. He drops back to pass. He has 1 read throws. I have to throw it to Jalen Warren. I have to throw it to Najee on the check down. Deontay Johnson's my only option. And maybe it's because of time. We'll get to the offensive line. But I'll tell you what, if you keep rolling this thing out over and over again, to me, I hate to say this because we are fans and we have no say in what happens. But as a fan, boy, is that a slap in the face, you know? It would just seem like the epitome of idiocy, just smacking your head against the wall over and over, expecting different results. So we've seen this long enough. I'm not change is necessary, but I don't think it's going to happen, which really sucks. I mean, Kenny Pickett, again, he threw this for 106 yards. 106 yards. You can't put lipstick on that pig.